All right, well, to start here, Jesse, I think it seems increasingly difficult for Democrats to claim that there's nothing to see here when federal agents are literally getting attacked and you have it on camera.
So ICE has every right to enforce immigration law. It's the same immigration law that Congress wrote. If Democrats don't like the law, they can change it, or they can win an election. And they can put the ICE agents back on the bench where they were for 4 years. You cannot nullify federal immigration law through anti-ICE zones, violence. You can't do it. It's Confederate action. And the federal government has every right to deploy federal resources to protect federal action that's being obstructed. This is like basic stuff. And they're using really disgusting violence to protect a cheap supply of labor. When have Democrats done that before? Do they really want a rematch of the Civil War? They're doing really awful things, too. They're shooting lasers in eyes of people. They're spitting on them. They're threatening them. They're assaulting them. There's now $10,000 bounties the cartels have put on agents' head, because they're getting doxxed and they want to put a death warrant out on them. And the Democrats don't want them to have a right to privacy. They used to love rights to privacy. And now they can't have a right to privacy when they wear a mask. I do want to talk about, because I'm the ombudsman for the legacy media, a lie that needs to be debunked about zip ties. You keep hearing Democrats, and I know Jessica will bring this up eventually, about ICE agents have a right to privacy when they wear a mask. I do want to talk about, because I'm the ombudsman for the legacy media, a lie that needs to be debunked about zip ties. You keep hearing Democrats, and I know Jessica will bring this up eventually, about ICE agents zip tying children. Well, I looked into it. And when you do a raid on an apartment complex with 37 illegal aliens, and a couple of them are Tren de Aragua, and the guy's living in an apartment building with a 17-year-old girl, and they can't prove that they're related, it's law to escort the girl, detain her, and bring her to a either state facility or a guardianship so she can't be exploited anymore. Tren de Aragua is notorious for sex trafficking. You can't just allow these people to live together. And for Democrats to say they care about the children all of a sudden, they lost 300,000 of them. They lost them to sex slavery, to sweatshops. They're living in squalor now, and they didn't care. They're just using it now as a talking point.
Jessica.
I'm looking at a scene out of Angel Heart. Remember that? Lisa Bonet? Mickey Rourke? What was that all about? I mean, we know what that was all about, but oof.
Build with this circle.
Cast out the witchcraft in Jesus' name.
Yeah. And just some absolute. Let's go with this one. Arrest him, press charges, incarcerate. What? I mean,
Your bags. Let's go.
I'm a peaceful protester.
Depending on what side of the political aisle you're on or what media you consume. Other times like this. Can I ask you why you're here?
Because what they're doing is wrong.
But nuance is nearly impossible to capture in today's political and media climate. And those who took lies of omission to a whole new level.
Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. And that's exactly what I said to the president when I asked him to stand down from sending federal troops into our city. But just in case that phone call wasn't enough, I thought I would take to the streets myself right here in downtown Portland. I'm standing just blocks away from the waterfront, overlooking the beautiful Willamette River. Portland City Hall, the federal courthouse, and dozens of shops and restaurants here in the central city.
Nice.
I'm just here with everybody else, my man. Don't let him throw shit. I'm just here like everybody else. tear gas and pepper balls were deployed into the crowd after agents said they were.
She is a U.S. citizen who wrote threatening messages on social media toward agents.
For shooting live rounds
and by federal agents at this gas station.
That was at this gas station with a person, a U.S. citizen, who has now been detained.
You're a fucking waste! Fucking die! You're a fucking waste!
Get out of here!
In World War II, I don't know why we have to be doing this again, but it's the same thing. And Trump is following, and the MAGA people and Stephen Miller, they're following the same pattern as what was followed in Germany.
So tell me, what's going on out here? Why are you out here?
So I'm out here because there's a deportation center, actually, that's illegal.
Put the gun down. Put the gun down. Put the gun down. You're gonna shoot me? Point the gun. We have it. Put the gun down.
You trying to shoot me? Go ahead, shoot me. Hey, shoot me.
Put the gun down.
Boy, you trying to shoot me? Ayuda a la comunidad. Chao Mendoza.
Quita la máscara, señor.
Yeah.
Yeah? Anybody else need it?
This is Bryant Park. This is not a war zone. We're not fucking threats. Get the fuck out of here.
Right. That pool house is my house. I live in there.
Did you get tear gas? You live right here. Yes. They're fucking driving out the fucking neighborhood and throwing tear gas out the window.
As they're leaving, they're throwing tear gas.
As they're leaving, watch some bitches come by.
Tear gas out the window.
Watch them.
So not really in any danger per se. So as they're leaving, they're not really in any danger.
Yeah, you're doing it. They're not in any danger. Show your face. Fuck us. Fuck you. Where the fuck is the trust? How can we trust you? We needed you and you left us get tear gas.
Oh no, you got some light in your eyes,
U.S. Senator Ron Wyden, you live in Portland. Tara Fowle is a photographer.
Peaceful. This was a coordinated ambush of federal officers in an American city. Two suspects, Marimar Martinez and Anthony Ian Santos, are already facing charges for forcibly assaulting federal officers. And by the way, when those agents, the ICE agents under siege, called for backup from the Chicago PD, the message that went out was not, we're on our way, no problem. It was, no units will respond to this.
And again, per the Chief of Patrol, we have all the units that, per 999, Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
We're busy today. Now, the transmitted message that was sent to all CPD relayed the same message. And they quoted the Chief of Patrol says no units will respond to this. Consistent. So you got federal agents trapped, shots fired, and Chicago PD told not to help. Well, today, cleanup on aisle 5, as Police Superintendent Larry Snelling told us not to believe our eyes or our ears.
I would never tell our officers to stand down, because if our officers were in trouble and we needed help from other officers, I would expect those officers to step in and help us.
We're not going to help those guys, the feds, because they're actually the problem. So in Johnson, Chicago, ICE agents can be surrounded by armed mobs and the police won't help because protecting federal law enforcement is antithetical to public safety? This is what people vote for there? This is insanity. And remember, the same mayor has also created ICE-free zones. He's telling all the different, regions, create your zones so the criminals can operate with impunity and criminals will be able to escape on lawful arrest.
The order establishes ICE-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
Everyone's asking me all day long, who's the woman with the nose ring? I have no idea who it is, so don't ask me again. Okay, well, in other words, they're going to attempt to make ICE's job impossible in blatant interference with federal law. Again, the ghost of Alinsky's hovering here. This is flat out demonizing ICE in an attempt to make their jobs impossible. All right, if the not-so-esteemed Saul Alinsky were alive today, he'd be smiling. His book, Rules for Radicals, laid out a step-by-step blueprint for destabilizing America. Pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, polarize it. Demonize your opponent, protect the mob, overwhelm the system until it breaks. And this week, we saw it on full display in Chicago, where the mayor there has clearly joined the radicals' cause.
The right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. I want that to sit in right now, because the President of the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America.
Okay, if anyone is trying to start a war on our streets and our cities, it's not conservatives. It's the hard left and their Democrat protectorate, people like Brandon Johnson. Because they began battling in earnest in the summer of 2020, using George Floyd's death as a pretext. The destruction, and we saw it in city after city, was excused. The lawlessness was celebrated as righteous rage. Because what's been happening in Portland and Chicago shows us the truth, well, Democrats' primary goal, it's not to keep their residents safe or restore order. Their primary goal is sabotaging the Trump administration and, by extension, the federal government. And I'm talking by any means necessary.
Country wants a rematch of the Civil War. I want that to sit in right now, because the President of the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America.
We don't want a rematch. The president hasn't declared war on anyone, but they've declared him public enemy number one.
It is time to recognize that while you thought the enemy was the immigrant, or you thought the enemy was the trans person, or you thought that the enemy was the black folk, it is not any of those people on the list. It is the old white Nepo baby that is sitting in the White House.
Chicago's taking up arms. Over the weekend, this windy city looked like Fort Sumter.
Let's go! Get out of the road now! Get back! Get back! Get back!
Thugs in bandanas threw rocks and bottles at ICE agents on patrol. Chicago police, nowhere to be found. One woman with a rifle rammed her car into an ICE vehicle, using it as a weapon. The ICE vehicle was disabled, leaving agents trapped and forced to open fire. The driver, Miramar Martinez, she was flagged last week for doxing agents and posting this, quote, "Hey, to all my gang, let's F these mother effers up. Don't let them take anyone." This was the second ramming incident over the weekend. The feds tried calling for backup, but Chicago PD was ordered to pull a Benghazi.
And again, per the Chief of Patrol, we have all the units that, per 999, Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
Chicago PD says they did show up, but the dispatch you just heard said they were told to stand down. The mayor of Chicago doesn't think all lives matter.
Do you want Chicago police not to help ICE agents?
Our police department will respond to every incident in which their services are needed to keep people safe, protecting the fundamental right to be able to protest, ensuring the maximum safety of our residents.
Johnson's signaling that the police's priority is protecting protesters above everyone else. Agents are getting attacked with cars, projectiles, and being shot at across the country. But Governor Ribbs is declaring war on ICE.
Trump and the thuggery that his agents have brought has actively made us less safe. The state of Illinois is going to use every lever at our disposal to resist this power grab and get Noam's thugs the hell out of Chicago. I'm not afraid.
25 people were shot over the weekend in Chicago. ICE is there because of the dereliction of duty by Biden and the Democrats.
You have black women with MAGA hats on in Chicago, all over the place. They want the guard to come in. There was one woman, she was great today. She said, you know what? I don't care if it's the National Guard, the Army, the Marines, the Air Force. I don't care who comes in as long as we're safe. And that's the way most of the public feels.
Why don't Democrats want to protect black women? First, they didn't stand up for black kids with cancer. Now this. Jussie Smollett got the benefit of the doubt in Chicago, but not ICE. Democrats keep saying this is a civil war. Well, Trump's the one trying to liberate black Americans, while they're demanding to know who's going to pick their crops. Democrats have started creating mini confederacies.
The order establishes ICE-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
An ICE-free zone kind of sounds like they're flirting with secession. Democrats are throwing around the S word. Mother Jones, it's time for soft secession. Chicago is not the only city clashing with the feds. The Portland battle is 100 days and counting.